The manga only just started releasing down here, so I'm excited to kind of go back and reread it. So
Yeah,
but I
and you
love
can
the
actually
show. It's
keep
just
up with it.
it's just a fun show, silly, and I really I talked to it in the round table, but one of the funniest parts is like he's a human in a world of demons, and my favorite scene is whenever they sing the school song, and it's like, we eat humans, yum 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 yum, and he's always like, he'll be like so happy go lucky, and then suddenly be like, oh yeah, they want to kill me,
Yeah.
so, but they don't know he's human. But great show.
Hey guys, I'm Bill, a one-time Instagram blogger and now a podcaster.
And I'm Alex, the chaotic neutral,
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast
a brother-sister duo,
that talks about gaming.
and also anime.
And don't forget the collecting, sometimes.
Ah, forget it. We're just a nostalgia podcast at this point.
But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us.
I don't fucking want.
So, how you been?
Did you start it?
Yep. Yep.
I don't want to. No.
Okay, macho woman.
I don't. I sound nothing like that. What I just did sounded nothing like that. You're full of shit.
So anyways, how you been?
No. You don't sound like that.
So, work's been busy.
I cannot wait for this week to be over.
Why? Because I'm moving out.
No, because next week I have a week off.
Yep.
I mean that too, but more the week off I expect. I mean, it's like you're moving out, but you're not really moving out yet. You still gotta move a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. But by the next time we podcast, I'll be moved out.
Yes.
The fuck was that?
The voice our mother hates.
Don't do that.
Why not? I'm just talking and breathing in at the same time.
Because you're gonna
fine.
Because you're gonna fuck your voice up and like die for the rest of this, and we got a lot to talk about. So you're rewatching Black Clover recently.
Only like bits and bops, like my favorite bits and bops from it.
Still a lot of Black Clover.
Yeah. Well, and then I think my plan is to start watching some of the series that came out, like the last anime season that are finally out. So, like out fully. So
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Attack on Titan will finally be over.
I hope so. I just want to watch it, because then we can both watch it, and then we can pod about it. Yeah.
Yeah, other than getting ready for the move, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 16.
Yep. Yes,
it's a very good
have.
game. My PS5 is getting more work, has gotten more work in this last month than it probably has since I've owned it. So
I was in a wedding last weekend. Well, the most recent weekend.
Yeah.
Not the upcoming weekend.
You were
It
very
was a beautiful ceremony, and I'm so happy for my dearest friend. She was a beautiful bride, and
even though you were very stressed the entire day.
Well, it's stressful because you want it to be the very best, for her. You want her to have her most best day, and I think she did. But it's it's a stressful time. There's a lot to think about, but
Yep.
It was good. It was very good.
Yep.
A very good day. I did not eat anything that day, though.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I know.
The food timing for me did not work that day,
Yeah.
so I did not eat a thing.
And that's why you That's why you had a feast at the Cracker Barrel the next day.
Yeah, and then my stomach really hurt. But it
Yep.
was worth it. Live, love, crack, or barrel.
That won't be taken out of context ever.
Oh, I have my little thingy right now too. You can't see it, but my little light show thingy
Oh yeah, that you broke.
that I broke after I was swinging it around, and it had a little like wrist thingy, and I swung it too hard and it broke, and then I couldn't get it to work. But then I just kept banging it against a wall, and eventually it worked. So, engineering at its finest is what I say.
Tried and true method. If it doesn't work, just hit it with a hammer until it works.
Yeah, or bang it against a wall.
You'll either break it more or fix it.
Shit. Shit.
Yeah,
That
but
was my interpretation of the old Verizon wireless ringtone. That went do 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 do.
I don't even remember that one.
Do. You ever heard that one?
No, I only remember like the.
Oh, that was one too, but there's the di 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 di. What the fuck is happening? Sorry.
Yeah.
Ah!
Alrighty then. Yeah. So we get a long one. We get a long one for today.
A longy.
So we talk about anime a lot in this show.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. And
in problem.
Yeah, well, that's why we just accepted we're half an anime podcast at this point. Sometimes we're just an anime podcast that moonlights as a gaming podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, so God, last year I think it was we did a
October of last year, we did a podcast known as the Top 25 Anime List.
Was it October?
Yes, because I listened to it today for reference.
God damn that! Oh yeah, it was because we moved around September-ish. I want to say, or
August.
late October,
Well, September,
August.
yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah, but
Fever damn.
so we had done a podcast going over our both me and Alex's top 25 personal animes, and ironically, that was the last podcast we recorded in Alex's old apartment where the podcast started.
Yes.
Crazy how
Wait,
that works.
what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we stockpiled a bunch.
Yeah, well, that was the last one we recorded because we didn't record another one until the moving podcast.
Yeah. What a time.
But yeah.
Oh, I forgot to ask. What are you drinking?
A liquid death.
That doesn't sound very pleasant.
You've already made this joke before.
Is it like what kind of death is it? Is it by submarine?
Severed lime.
That was messed up. I'm so sorry.
You know, we ended the last podcast talking about that sub, and it's not going to be out until like months after nobody gives a fuck anymore.
Well, I still care. I've watched so many videos of that thing exploding and going, holy shit. Holy shit. Anyways.
I feel bad for the people in the Titanic subreddit, but that's besides the point.
Besides the point. Anyways.
So yeah, what we were saying though is we did that video. It was actually funny because it was the last one we did in the old apartment. And for this episode, we're actually going to be revisiting that and seeing how it's changed. And ironically, this will be the final one we record while I'm still living here. So.
Woo! No, just kidding.
I'm gonna have to put a headphone warning on this one because you're on like a special kind of thing. This one.
It was one of those days at work where like it went by dreadfully slow. So I'm just that is how I feel.
So slow that you left early.
Well, I came in at 7:30. So I came in early. So I left a half hour early. Ooh.
I was in before you and left after you.
Well, you get paid for overtime. I don't get paid for that. So I'm working my 8 hours that I'm I get paid for, and then I'm out.
It's funny how we ended the How You Been segment to get moving with the topic, and we just haven't seemed to have ended it yet.
All right. Into the topic, we're going to talk about our top 25 anime list again.
Updated for now because. Are you good?
Oh. I thought my computer died, but it's just the screen. I think I need to replace the cord because it's happened like every episode.
Lovely. Okay, so I thought it would be fun because we've actually visited this topic a few times in the past. Once with the original recap, and we also had the anime roundtable.
Yes.
Shout out to Jared, Matt, Slade, and Kevin over at the Anime Fight Club.
I also listened to that for reference today too.
Yep, it was a good time. So what we thought would be fun to do is before we get into our new updated lists, we'd actually recap our old list to see how things have changed because they have changed a lot.
Yes.
So I figure I'll go first with my original list.
And we're not going to go into details on these. We're just
No,
going to
not on the not on the original list. So
Yeah.
my original list from 25 to 1 was One Punch Man, Yu Yu Hakusho, Kill la Kill, Digimon Adventure, Dragon Ball Z, Mariko-chan, Persona 4 Gold, no, just Persona 4 the animation, Full Metal Panic, Ace Attorney, Hayaka, Dragon Ball Super, Cowboy Bebop, Spy Family, Naruto Shippuden, Ronin Warriors, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Azumanga Daioh, Kaguya-sama, Shield Hero, Golden Time, Original Dragon Ball, Komi Can't Communicate, My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, Fruit Baskets, and Inuyasha.
All right. My top 25
for the original video.
For the original one back in October from
25 to 1.
25 to 1, sorry. I just knocked my glasses off my face. Kami-sama Kiss, Inuyasha, Yuri on Ice, Agretzko, The Disastrous Life of Psyche K, Fruit Basket, Ouran High School Host Club, Princess Tutu, Sailor Moon, Carol and Tuesday, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, Ass Class, Slime, Parasite, Dragon Ball Super, Shield Hero, Death Parade, One Punch Man, Mob Psycho 100, Hunter x Hunter, Black Clover, Haikyuu, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and of course, One Piece.
Bleach.
No! I will say, I think out of all of my list,
only number one's the same.
Only number one is the same. All of them have changed and moved around at some point. Like, it's only number... Ah! I hit my mic. It's only number one. That's the same.
I'm going to have to give a headphone warning at the start of this.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Yeah, so fun fact, too, is unlike the original episode, we didn't share our list with each other this time, so we're going completely in blind on these.
Oh, yeah, shit. I think it'll be more fun.
Now, just to recap the Fight Club, because a couple things had changed.
Poser.
Yeah.
Bill admitted it. He said I was trying to be out of the box, but these weren't really my favorites.
Most of them were. A few of them not so much. You'll see by my updated list today that the top 10 I picked for the Fight Club, not exactly the same. So for the Fight Club, the top 10 I did when we did the Fight Club were from 10 to 1, Ronin Warriors, Azumanga Daioh, Komi Can't Communicate, Golden Time, Dragon Ball, Slime, Kaguya-sama, My Teen Romantic... Yeah. My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, Fruit Baskets, and Inuyasha. So a lot of the first three are the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine are not. Mine was Slime, Hunter x Hunter, Ranking of Kings, Carol and Tuesday, Death Parade, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Haikyuu, Dragon Ball Super, Welcome to Demon School Aruma, and One Piece. Well, it is definitely, my list is definitely not in this order anymore. I can confirm that they are, at least all of these entries are on my top 10, are on my top 25 currently.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this exact order, besides one, which is kind of obvious.
Yeah.
But but they all are still on my list. So none of these got booted.
So I will say, going for my talking about the top 10 from the round table, all of those are still on my top 25, but definitely not in the same order.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on now to the main event, our new top 25 list. What's going to be fun about this is going to be just seeing like where things have like moved around compared to, or just completely been omitted.
Yes.
So I guess I'll start with my number 25 pick. On this list, number 25 for me is Naruto Shippuden.
Oh.
So, fun fact, on this list it is 25. On the original list, Naruto Shippuden was 12th.
Wow.
So, yeah, a lot of things have changed recently. I still like Shippuden. Like, I think it's a good show, but it's one of those shows that I really just can't sit down and watch anymore because it's so much filler. I can watch parts of Naruto Shippuden. I cannot watch it from start to finish ever again, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still like it, but it just barely made the top 25. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Understandable, especially if especially I feel like both of us have really delved into what we really enjoy and what we liked but don't love as much anymore. So I think it's understandable where you put it.
All right, so now you're number 25, Alex.
So my number 25 was formerly number, I believe, 17. Yes, my 17, which is Sailor Moon. Which in all honesty, I had to keep on the list for nostalgia purposes, really only. And I knew it was going to be on the list, and I kind of put it in that 25 spot because it's definitely not my cup of tea show anymore, just based off what I watch. But I still really love the series. I have really strong connection to it with my childhood. It was a big part, growing up. I love that show, so I couldn't not have it on the list, but I just couldn't have it any higher than that because it's really not my taste in show anymore.
It's not a great show in general, to be honest.
Hey,
I mean, it's not a bad
get
show.
out of my house!
I didn't say it was bad. I just said it's not as great as it was. You remember it.
I still love it to this day. So,
Okay. Yeah. Now, anyways, moving on. So, my number 24 pick also was on my previous list is Persona 4 the animation. So this was originally
higher.
Yeah, it was at number 19 previously.
Yeah.
So I love Persona 4 the animation still because I think it's an amazing adaptation of the game. But if I'm gonna be honest, it's a great adaptation, but as an actual standalone anime, it's okay. Like it's you get a better experience playing the game. The anime is mostly I love it for all the added context and stuff it brings to the story. And I think it's just I've seen better stuff since my anime palette has expanded, as they say.
Yes.
So yeah, it dropped down a bit. Still a great adaptation though of Persona 4.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about my next pick too. My next pick one was actually the one right before Sailor Moon on my original list, which was Carol and Tuesday. So this one originally was 16th, and now I've bumped it down to 24. I love this series. That's why I had to put it on my list. I'll do a watch of this every year.
Oh wow, it was on the round table too. I just realized that.
I know it was on the round. Well, I love to talk about this one. I truly do love it, but when I had to go and kind of compare it with all of them, I just kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And it was really tough because I truly love this series, but when I really thought about it, I was like, oh, there's just some that I really enjoy a lot more. So yeah, it was really hard putting it there, but I've found a lot of new series recently that I've absolutely adored. So my list is definitely very different, but I do love this series and I encourage everyone to watch it because it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just funny how like it dropped. It was originally pretty
I
middle. It was middle of the road on the first list. Then it then it was in your top 10, and then
Yeah,
now it's down to
I did just recently watch it though when I put it in my top 10.
yeah, that might be a
And
lot.
so,
I
and
mean,
that's the
to be
tough.
fair, I had I had entries in my the round table list that were
Well,
there.
I'd like to go into this more at the end, but it is interesting when you're looking at things in terms of a list of 25 versus 10. It's much
Yeah.
harder, I think we should go into it more at the end, but I'd like to touch on that. But
Mm.
let's continue. Your number 23.
23. All right, so my number 23 is another adaptation anime. It is actually the Ace Attorney anime,
Oh,
which has also
this is funny because I just listened to the episode and you were like, "This is one of my favorite animes. I love it. It's my favorite."
so in the original list it was at 17th. Now it's 23rd.
Mhm.
It's still a great show. Like it is
Yes.
a great adaptation that the dub does so much justice. Like they totally captured the spirit of Ace Attorney. My only reason it's lower is similar to Persona 4. There's just better anime I've seen since then, and
Yeah.
it's an adaptation of a video game, and I still think the video game is the superior way to experience it.
Yep.
Just being honest there. But
Understandable.
otherwise, though, it still made the list. I just pushed it towards the back this time around.
Yeah.
Beat Naruto.
All right. My number 23, it wasn't on my original list. It was on my roundtable list though, and that was Ranking of Kings. Um I really love this series. I couldn't put it back up in the top 10 though. There was just other stuff that just had surpassed it recently. But I love this series. I love the story and I think it's just like it's a very charming but uplifting story because it's following I mentioned it before, but it follows the main character who's a prince, and he was born deaf. And it's him kind of trying to find his place in the world where it feels like almost every step of the way is a setback. um, and there's some darkness to it and a really interesting story because it's kind of a mystery, of figuring out like why, like what happened, because like his parents were both giants and you're kind of wondering, it's like, why is he not a giant, like what happened. It's very good. I can't wait. I need to watch the next season. I think it's actually either coming out now or it came out last season, but it's definitely on my list to watch the next season. Really enjoyed the show.
Yeah, I remember you were big into that one for a while.
Yeah.
And that this is your first new entry on the list, right?
Compared to my last
To the
list,
original, compared to the
yes,
original.
this is my first new one.
Wow. I'm laughing because my next one is going to be the most insane drop from the original list.
Uh-oh.
So I'll give a spoiler. This entry on my original list was number 7.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So number 22 on my current 25 list is actually Rising of the Shield Hero.
Okay. That's actually kind of funny.
So let's just say the hype has kind of died on this one a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when we made that list, it was right after we did the
After we just watched it, and
Yeah,
we were so into it.
We had done the anime swap, and then season 2 kind of was just very middling from like in terms of reception, and we still haven't watched it. It's been on hold because of life.
Yeah.
And it's been one of those things where it kind of was like, this was really awesome, and then I was like, it's still good, and I was like, I like it. Yeah, the hype has since kind of subdued a bit, and I've discovered other shows, including another one that we'll get into later, that have just kind of replaced it in the higher part of this list. It still
Yeah.
made the list though. I dumped it way down to the 20s.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so my next one isn't that, but isn't also sword, but my sword hero also dropped down significantly. But my next one was The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I really love this show. It actually did drop down one. It was actually at that 21 spot, but now it's 22. But I still love this show. It's just one of those shows you can put on and it's just like really funny. And you don't really need to be like fully into it. It's just like a good show. Like as Bill mentioned in the last time we talked about it, you would like come downstairs and see me watching it and be like, okay, I get it. That's funny. Like, ha ha ha, I need to watch that at some point. So it's definitely good if you want to get through something quick, and just watching that's pure comedy and silliness. There's no seriousness about it. It is a goofy goober show.
It is like the perfect definition of anime junk food, in my opinion, where it's like,
yeah,
you could watch an episode with no context and understand, and then not have to worry about.
Yeah, you don't need any context.
Yeah, there's a certain anime on my list later that's very similar. And
I think I already know.
Yeah, we'll get to that. It's much older though.
I know which one it is.
Yeah. So that one only dropped down a little bit, you said.
Yeah, only down by one.
So I'm actually, the funny part, speaking of only dropping down by one, I was actually interested in seeing if I had any that actually stayed in the same exact spot. And, well, I mean, other than like some obvious ones that we'll get to later, but I actually did have one that's exact same spot and is my next entry. Number 21 is Dragon Ball Z, and it was also number 21 in my original list.
Oh, that's funny.
And, I mean, Dragon Ball Z is great, but
it's long.
It's long. It's been done to death, unfortunately, at this point. Like,
yeah,
how many times has the Z saga like been like rehashed with like multiple different things?
Yeah,
and I'm just kind of tired of it at this point. But I still enjoy it. But if I'm gonna watch Dragon Ball, there are other series in the Dragon Ball.
Hero.
We'll get to that later. Yeah, there's other Dragon Balls I just prefer and that are just better than Z. And Z is comfortably in 21st on both my lists.
All right. So for my next one, this is kind of where I'm tying it in. So, on my original list, I had Shield Hero as number 8, and it's dropped down to number 21. And honestly, I just have to say ditto to most of the reasons Bill did.
Yeah, that hype train died real fast.
Yeah, it really did. And I went to watch it, and then you yelled at me for watching it. So no, I haven't watched the second season. But I definitely want to watch season 2 at some point. It just honestly, there's just been so many other shows catching my eye, and
that lingering like just knowing that apparently season 2 isn't as good as 1 also hasn't helped.
Yeah, it just makes it hard to go and watch it. But I do love this series. There was so much I loved about the first season, so I'm definitely gonna give season 2 a try. But I think it moved down the list, and it kind of deservingly so moved down the list.
Yeah, honestly, that's one I'd kind of like to track down the original light novels to read at some point, just because I hear they're much superior to the anime in a lot of ways. But yeah, that'd be for a much later time because I don't have time for that right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. Shield Hero dropped like a rock on both of our lists.
Yep.
All right. Anyways, so now speaking of the next entry, this one didn't drop too much on my original list. It was number 18. On this one, it is number 20, and that is Full Metal Panic. The only mech anime I can realistically watch without getting bored. Yes. And that's mostly just because this show has no sense of tone. and I find it
That is
amusing.
why I can't get into it.
Yep, that's fine. I've accepted that. It's one of those fun shows where one episode is a slice of life and the next is fucking terrorism. Because
Why not?
okay. Yeah, and the second season is just a full-on slice of life, and then the third season is just nothing but action. It's great. They can't make up their mind. I like it though. It's fun. Good ADV dub for the time, and like I said, it's the only mech anime that doesn't bore me. I find that as an accomplishment. And it only dropped down a couple spots.
Yep. Well, my next one dropped down significantly since originally it was number 6 on my list, and
Oh
now
my.
it's number 20. It's Mob Psycho 100. This was tough because I watched season 3 and like I enjoyed it, but I definitely think the voice actors changing did affect the show. I don't know. I also just like I wasn't a huge fan of the final arc where like Dimple went all like psycho. Oh, I don't want to spoil it because you haven't watched it yet. But I wasn't a huge fan of season 3. I won't lie. I did enjoy the ending. I think the ending was very good, but I don't know. I was a little sad that it ended.
Is it like definitively over now?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's over. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I have to sit down and watch that at some point.
Yeah, I definitely think you should watch it. And I do love the show, and it's still in my top 20. And I've seen how many animes at this point? Like
a lot,
over like 300 at this point.
More than I have, that's for sure.
No, yeah. So the fact that it's in my top 20 is still pretty freaking amazing with how many I've watched. But yeah, I will say like the third, I love the series, but I was like, I don't know, the third season just kind of left me sad that it was over.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Womp womp. Yeah. So speaking of drops, this one didn't drop too much, but well, it dropped a lot because it was in my Fight Club list technically. So number 19 on this.
Honestly, we should just ignore the Fight Club list because I think both of us weren't like completely truthful.
Well, the majority of my top 10 is still the same from the Fight Club list, but
mine is not. But also, mine also has a lot of stuff that I've watched after that, so I don't know. I guess it depends.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, so my number 19 pick is Ronin Warriors, which I had at 10 on my Fight Club list, and I have to admit I put it there strictly for nostalgia reasons, not for actual like one of my for it being a top 10 worthy show. In my original list, it was actually 11th, so it's dropped down quite a bit. I mean, it's still a great show. It was male Sailor Moon at the time. And it was on right after Sailor Moon. And that's how I always watched it, because it was right after you were done watching Sailor Moon, and I'd catch Ronin Warriors, the guys in the samurai suits with the giant lion. It was great. And I have the Blu-rays for that now, and I'm looking forward to rewatching it at some point.
Nice.
But yeah, it's down to 19th now because it's it's nostalgic, but it is definitely an 80s anime.
Understandable. So this one was actually my number. It was right behind Mob Psycho. It was number 7, and now it is number 19, and that is One Punch Man. I feel like for me it's probably gonna go back up on my list at some point depending on how season 3 comes out. But it's just been a long wait for season 3, and it's like the hype is, it's falling.
It's because Mappa's busy.
No, yeah, I mean that is the truth, and I mean there are some series on this list that we'll talk about later on that are by Mappa, and I get it. But yeah, I can't wait for season 3. Like that's all I can say. Oh, I dropped my little light stick. I dropped it on the ground. One Punch Man, come help me! No. Yeah. Man, you go.
All right.
No.
All right. So moving on now. This is actually my first increase on the list. Like it's gone up. And but that's mostly not because of. I think it's gotten better. I think it's more just I think things have gotten worse, and it kind of just
Oh
it shuffled its way up naturally.
no.
So my number 18,
18.
18 pick is Mariko Chan, which was my number 20 on my original list. And Mariko Chan is a fun show that is it's a one and done to me because it's only a 12er and it's just a goofy horror comedy that has some good laughs, and it's a good, you watch it, you get a good laugh out of it, or you get disturbed depending on how you view it.
You get
And
down with the sickness?
sure, and then you move on. And I've actually, one of the reasons that it's actually boosted for me recently is I've been collecting the manga, and the manga has changed my perspective on it, so I like it even more now.
Nice.
I will give a warning though, it is a weirdly fan servicey show at times that might turn some people off.
Yep.
Next to the zombies that are ripped straight out of a show that Alex will probably be talking about later.
Yes. Anyways.
So what's your number 18?
My number 18 was originally my number 5.
Oh, jeez.
And it was Hunter x Hunter, and I have lots of love for this series. I understand how wonderful it truly is. But I mean, there's been like nothing on it. Like, and I honestly, like, at this point, I don't think the anime will ever come back.
Yeah, it's tough.
In just all honesty, I just don't. Because I know, like, they said, like, the author's health was doing better, but then I heard that it was kind of failing again. So I don't think we'll ever see the anime come back, unfortunately, at this point. And it makes me sad, but it's still what we have of the series is wonderful, and I'm so glad it exists. And they went and redid the animation, but yeah, I just at this point I don't think we'll ever get another Hunter x Hunter anime.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Or if we do, I just don't think it will be the same.
I'm assuming if we get anything, it's going to be OVAs or something just to cover what's left.
Yeah. So that's why it's down there. But yeah.
Another show I got to watch, especially after we watched another show.
Yeah, you definitely need to. It's a must watch. I think everyone should watch it. It's a great show, but yeah, it just makes me kind of sad though.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely. It's on my list. Probably after I move at some point, I'll sit down and just watch it, and then we can talk about it later. Because you've already seen it.
Oh, we can bring in Snickerman.
Snickerman. There's a few people we can bring in that I know to talk about it. But yeah. So moving on now to number.
It's not a choice. You have to come, Snickerman. You have to come on the show. You don't have a choice. I'm sorry. You don't have to. Don't feel pressured.
I think he knows the door's always open for him. But
forcibly opened. Get here.
Anyways, so moving on to number 17.
Sorry.
This is another drop. And that's mostly just because this show, as perfect as it is, there's just other shows I care about more. And number 17 for me is Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't drop that far because it was only like on my original list it was 14.
Mm-hmm.
So it dropped like 4 spots.
Yeah.
It's still an iconic classic from back in the day, like one of the greatest. It's the dub that like all other dubs like have since like based themselves around. It's just such a classic story. And do you like jazz, Alex?
Hell yeah, I do. Barry B. Benson, what the fuck is up?
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, there's just been other series that I just think are better. Yeah. And it has kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit. I do need to sit down and rewatch it, though, at some point, because it has been a long time. All right. So what is your number 17?
So my number 17 was originally my number 15. And that is My Hero Academia.
I can smell it from here.
No. Yes, the fan base is stinky. Okay, we get it. They even admit it. But I mean, I feel like it didn't really drop that much. And the only reason, and I really enjoyed the most recent
Yeah,
season.
when we
I
did the last
really
one, you were very like down on it. You were like, I don't know.
No, yeah, I watched. So, but that's because like the season before, the most recent, it really wasn't very good. It wasn't. And the one that came out the one that was most recent was excellent. Like it was probably my favorite season of the show so far. I was like so into it, but it's like it kind of stinks though because it did make me kind of look back and be like, wow, some of these other parts just kind of sucked. And I just wish we could have gotten here right away, but I understand we couldn't because you kind of needed those parts to build up to what we currently have. But I gotta say, I think the future of it is looking really bright, and I'm excited for the next season to come out. But I just think like the show is really good, but it also has its problems, and the
Yeah.
fan base kind of scares me.
Yeah.
That too.
I
Like
mean,
in all honesty, they frighten me.
to be fair, a lot of anime fan base are kind of
Yeah,
frightening.
there's like the new like scary one.
Yeah,
So
they're up there. That's for sure. Um, all right. So number 16. This is the other steepest drop on my list.
dun dun.
Also hilarious considering it was on my top 10 for the roundtable. So on my new list, my number 16 is Comey.
Oh dang.
So keep in mind, Comey was on the roundtable was number 8. On my original list, it was number 4.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So here's my reasoning here. It's mostly because the anime has kind of stalled and it's not really going anywhere.
It's in that kind of same position of like it most likely isn't coming back.
But the difference between this and Hunter x Hunter is there's a shitload of content
Oh
there now.
yeah.
And because I've been reading, see, the reason why it fell so much is because I actually prefer the manga over the anime at this point, just
Yeah.
because the manga goes so much farther and it's still going farther. And yeah, this one kind of ends around volume 8ish, I want to say volume 8 or 9, and it's kind of depressing because there's so much more to talk about, and the show really starts. Well, the series itself gets really good right around where it ended.
Yes.
Kind of like another series we'll be talking about pretty soon, I assume. But yeah, yeah, Comey dropped like a rock. No, sorry, Shoko.
All right. So my number 16.
Yes.
Okay. My number 16 was originally my number 13. And that was Ass Class, Assassination Classroom. I'm sorry, I can't not call it that. But only reason it bumped down there is just because like there's been so many really great new shows that I've just loved, and I still love this show. Like I want to do a rewatch of it actually soon because like I haven't seen it in a while, and I really enjoyed the series, but it's just hard when there's so many other ones that are just really good right now. But
Yeah.
it didn't drop that far, but it's just really hard. And a lot of just shows that I found and felt like I really like them. So really love the show too, but just it fell back. It was time.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So now moving into the top 15.
Woo!
My number 15 choice is my first new entry on this list.
Nice, nice, nice.
Chainsaw Man.
Ah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed our watch of Chainsaw Man during the
me too. I
during
really did too.
our recent swap, and I'm gonna put a caveat though that this one is pending that season 2 keeps up the power that this show that this show's first
Power.
season. Yeah. It keeps up the strong like start that the anime started with, because I have since read all of the manga that is officially released physically in the US, so that's up to volume 11 as of right now. And I have to say I'm looking forward to what gets adapted because holy shit, it picks up.
Mm.
I'm not going to spoil anything because Alex hasn't seen it, but hasn't read it beyond where the
Yeah,
anime
I haven't
ended.
read Beyond. It's one of the ones I'm gonna start reading soon because I'll just tell you now, it's on my list too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Chainsaw Man watching it.
Especially that fucking intro.
The intro and just everything, like
It's
it
so
was
good.
so engaging, and they ended the anime like the first season right at a point where I'm like, holy shit, something good shit's about to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, so Chainsaw Man made the list. It wasn't on any of my previous lists. What did it bump
Nice.
out? We'll talk about that later.
All right. So this one's pretty. It was tough, but this was originally on my original list. This was number 3, and then on my roundtable it was number 4, and now it's number 15. And it was Haikyuu. Which I love the show. I love the volleyball show. It's one of my favorites, but it's just hard when the series is over. They still have to do another. They have another movie coming out where they're kind of doing a movie rather than a final animated series. Um, but I've read the manga. Like, it's over. It's not coming back. Like, they finished it, and I will say it has a wonderful ending. I don't think there could have been a better ending to the series, but yeah, it's over. you
And
know,
the reason why you probably lowered it also too is you're salty that it's hard to watch.
Yeah, and I can't freaking watch it anywhere. Like, I can watch the sub on Crunchyroll, but like the dub is lost in the dub limbo space of rights.
Yep.
So like literally, if you have a copy of it, like hold on to it because you could probably sell it for a lot of money. Like, you can't find that dub anywhere.
Yep.
I'm salty.
Until it gets picked up again by some distributor, and then the money value of those deep Blu-rays is going to go.
Yep.
Or it could go up if they redub it in that case. But
Yeah, you never know.
yeah. So moving on now to number 14. So this one dropped down on my previous list. Only one space. It was 13 on my original list. And
Okay.
so number 14 on this list is Spy Family.
Okay, nice.
Honestly, I in hindsight, Spy Family probably should have been on my roundtable top list too. I should have just put it instead of Comey, to be perfectly honest. Nothing against Comey, but that show is in limbo right now, and Spy Family is, if anything, it's only on the rise, and so is that manga, because it just keeps getting more interesting, and I want to know what happens.
Yep.
But yeah, I really enjoy Spy Family. I love my favorite part about Spy Family is the characters. Like, they're all so well written and likable.
Mm-hmm.
And we had actually done a swap on it pretty recently too, and I mean, you enjoyed it for what it was.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed it. It did. I won't lie, it didn't make my top 25.
No, I didn't expect it to.
But I do really enjoy it, and I am looking forward to the next season and movie coming out.
Season 2 and that movie, which I believe is going to be standalone, but season 2 I'm looking forward to because there's a lot of stuff to cover, although they're going to run out of manga pretty soon at the rate they're going.
Womp, womp, womp.
This is Mama. She's whatever.
Whatever.
Yep. All right, so what is your number 14?
Oh shit, I got distracted.
Whatever.
Okay, my number 14. It's actually one I've praised a lot, and I do still truly love this show. We watched it actually very recently, but it was Death Parade. I originally had it number 8, and I do love this show. I love the show. I love the theming. I love the story, the length. It's perfect, 12 episoder. But it is, after watching it again and comparing it with some of the other stuff that's out, it's dated at this point. But I still think it is worth a watch for everyone because I'm sorry.
Worth a watch for that fucking intro.
Oh yeah, that first episode, like it is amazing how it just you're in, like you're drawn in, and like you're in, like you're gonna watch the whole series, and like it was really cool getting to see you watch it and kind of watching someone else watch it and seeing what happens and like their viewpoints on it. So I still think it's an excellent show and everyone should watch it. But yep, it's down to number 14 because there's just so many really good shows out there.
I really enjoyed that show watching it. I won't spoil though. I'll spoil you now. It's not on my top
No,
25.
I wasn't expecting it to be.
I did like it though. Like I said though, it's kind of a one and doneer for me. Like I'll probably, if I ever watch it again, it'll be with somebody else.
Yeah.
I probably not going to go out of my way to watch it standalone just because I've already seen it. I know what happens.
No, yeah. I
It
don't
is
blame you.
a very well tied off show because there's like literally there's nothing up for like question of what happens after it ends. It's very much it ends definitively, and that's how it should stay.
Yep.
All right, so that was on your top 10 for the roundtable too.
I know. And I still, like, I really.
We'll get into it in the end, talking
Yeah.
about how top 10s are different than top 25s, but yeah, it's funny.
Mm.
All right, so moving on now to this is actually a razor on my list. So this one was
Razor.
yep, it raised a couple spots. Interesting, actually, now that I think about it. Anyways, so
Anyways.
originally this was number 16 on my original list. It is now jumped up to number 13, and that is Hayuka.
Oh, okay.
Hayuka. It is a very interesting show that I kind of hope gets more anime because the book it's based off of a series of novels. And it is it's a mystery, not murder mystery. It's just a mystery novel. Like it's a mystery series where it kind of involves like just a group of kids in high school, and like they kind of solve these different tasks that always come up as they go through the game, go through the series, and they're always very suspicious, and it makes you think a lot. It's a cool little concept for a show. I won't lie though, it's not super action heavy, and it's a very dry kind of show. Not probably the best thing for like someone just getting into anime. It's more for someone who's been a dedicated watcher for a long time. And I wouldn't recommend watching it after watching another like slice of life, just because you might be too mellowed out. But if you having the itch to just watch something randomly, I'd give it a shot. It's only like 26 episodes.
All right. All right. Number 13.
Yes.
So my number 13, it was originally my number 11, and that is Parasite the Maximum. I do really enjoy this show, and I think it was a really good. What I really liked about it was that it took a much older manga and kind of brought it to life a lot later on, and I think it actually paved the road for a lot of other series that had um that were older, and they kind of brought them back to life and got them on the big screen.
It also
So
popularized incredibly dark animes over like making it over.
yeah, I honestly I was thinking about that too. Is that like I don't think we would have some of the series that we have today without Parasite being animated. I think it really did help pave the way for some of the shows that I'm going to be talking about later on. Um, I definitely think it broke that barrier into like the very dark and like morbid concepts, but it's definitely I think it's really good. It's a classic, and it's definitely on my list for a rewatch soon.
That's probably one that you'd enjoy reading the original manga of too.
I do want to collect that at some point. That is on my list.
Thankfully, that's a popular one, so it's constantly reprinted.
Yes.
All right. So moving on to number 12. So number 12 on my list. Oh, it's another another one that jumped up a few spots. On my original list, this was only number 15. On this list, number 12, Dragon Ball Super.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Super just gets better with age. I'm not gonna lie. Like the superhero movie like just kind of reinvigorated my interest in Dragon Ball again, and like I'm like I want another Dragon Ball series because Super is such a fun series. It has that perfect balance between Z's heavy action and OG Dragon Ball's and OG Dragon Ball's like storytelling and comedy.
Yes.
It's an enjoyable romp, and it's only like it's not even super aggressively long. It's only like 150 something episodes. So it's definitely worth a rewatch. Like I'd say every couple of years, give it a rewatch because it goes quick.
Oh my god, yeah. I absolutely love that series. It is on my list. It is on my list, so get ready.
It's pretty high up there, I'm guessing.
Maybe. So my number 12. I keep forgetting every single time where we're at. My number 12 is Jujutsu Kaisen. This
Ah,
one went up. It was originally 14, so it went up 2 spots. I really love this series. I've been reading the manga, which I also think is really good. And I'm super excited to see where it's going because what I've been reading up to, there's like a big old like what the fuck coming up, but it's like a what like but like a like a good one. So it should be interesting and I'm really excited. And season 2 is going to be out soon, so I'm pretty excited
yeah,
to
I'm
get
looking
more
forward
of
to
this
that too
series.
because we did actually we did a swap on this recently,
Swoop.
and I liked what I watched. I'm kind of I won't say like I won't spoil. It's not on this list
That's
for
fine.
me. I'm thinking season 2 might change that because I'm looking forward to season 2 as well because I want to see where it goes because I see the potential of it.
Hmm. Woo!
Uh,
I got
yes.
Bill to like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. So now moving on to 11, we have another new entry on my list.
Dun, dun, dun,
And this one
dun.
might surprise Alex.
Oh, okay. I'm scared.
So my number 11 is actually Black Clover.
What?
Yeah. Black,
Awesome.
which wasn't on my original list, period, because we were still in the middle of watching that.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, we had
I
actually
don't think
no,
we
no,
had started it yet.
no, no, we did because we started watching it at the old apartment.
Oh yeah, me.
We
Yeah.
had finished the preliminaries. We had finished the previous anime swap, which we had just finished at that point, but we hadn't talked about it yet because we didn't do that one until we moved. But that's besides the point. We had just started Black Clover at the time. I gotta say it's aged well, and I really kind of wish the second season comes out if it ever does.
I thought I saw. I don't know how truthful, but I
Well,
think it will.
you saw a thing, and then you immediately went, "Oh, this might be fake."
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna feel confident, and I'm gonna say that it's coming back. It's coming back.
You
I
know what?
want more.
You
Or
know
you
what?
need to start reading the manga
Yeah,
because I
I'm
will
thinking
say
of.
it's
Well,
real good.
I'm gonna have more space so I can buy more manga.
Oh god.
And I might
I
actually.
also want to collect the Black Clover manga at some
I've been
point.
thinking about the Black Clover manga because I love that art style too. And honestly, watching the new movie, spoiler, we watched the new movie. It'll probably be in a 3 anime films at some point. Watching the new movie really reinvigorated my interest. So
Nice.
yeah, number 11. I bet you didn't have that on your bingo card.
Nope, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
What did it kick out? We'll find out later.
All right. Well, mine, surprise, surprise, it's also a new entry. Number 11, I put Chainsaw Man. I
Nice.
I really like this series and I'm excited for the next season, but I also want to start reading the manga, which I think I'm gonna start doing. But I am pumped. Like I freaking love it, and I feel like a series can really get me if the intro is a bop, and like the intro is a bop. It just made me want to keep watching so I could keep hearing that intro every single time. But I just really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to what's more to come. I've already been spoiled a little
Koabini is
bit on
the MVP. Just
what?
saying. Koabini is the MVP. I'm just saying.
Hell yeah. Um,
Poor traumatized girl.
I'm excited though. I'm really excited for the series. So, and it did kick stuff. I mean, as you can see just from the beginning of my list, it's like if you listen to the last episode before this, you can already tell that a bunch of them were kicked out of the list.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't even gotten into the top 10 yet. So,
Yep.
let's go.
All right. So yeah, that was interesting. Like Chainsaw Man really did live up to the hype, as we mentioned in the
It
swap.
did.
It lived up to the hype a lot. All right, but moving on now. So this is funny because my number 10 actually is exactly the same as my original list, and in all reality, it should have been on the round table as well, but I took it out because I didn't want to be predictable. Because for some reason I thought I cared at the time. It's all right. Matt had it on his list, so we still talked about it. Uh, but my number 10 is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Ah,
It was number 10 in the original list. It's number 10 here. I love that show.
yep.
Me and Matt actually got me to watch it way back when I was visiting him back before I moved up to Connecticut. And he had told me 3 episodes in, I guarantee you'll be hooked. We watched 3 episodes, and I was pretty hooked. And I immediately went home and watched episode 4, and and then I saw episode 4.
Depression.
But yeah, I binged that in like a week, and
Nice.
my God, that show is so definitively like perfect. It just starts and ends
I
perfectly.
need to rewatch it. I have not watched Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood in so long, and I really need to do a rewatch.
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk about it at some point too, like do a whole retrospective
Yes.
on it, because it's worth talking about because it is such an iconic show.
Oh yeah. No, it's phenomenal. So I definitely need to do a rewatch soon.
Mm.
Soon.
Yep, and it made my top 10, and it
Wow!
honestly should have been in my top 10 for the roundtable, but we'll get to that later.
Nice.
All right, so what is your number 10, Alex?
So my number 10 was originally my number 12, and that was that time I was reincarnated as a slime. But I'm also putting like the slime and like Slime Diaries. But I don't know. We watched the movie recently, and I just really like this series.
It's so charming. It's so
really
charming.
is. Like I know, like a lot of people I think get turned off by the title, but like I swear, it's a good show. Like it's it's really interesting, and you really like all the characters in it, and you hate the bad guy, but you really enjoy it.
You hate some of the bad guys, and you kind of like some of the bad guys.
Yeah, and some of the bad guys end up becoming good guys, you know.
Yep.
So
it is a little fan servicey for some people's tastes, I will say, because it's up there with Mariko-chan in terms of just like what oddly placed fan service, but it's a slime. He's funny.
Sorry.
But yeah, so that one jumped up for you.
Yeah, oh, by 2, but it's definitely, I do really love this series, so I'm looking forward to more to come.
Nice. All right, so moving on to my list. This is on this list. This is by far the biggest jump compared to my previous list.
All right.
On my previous list, this entry was number 24.
Oh.
Now it's number 9, and that is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh.
Which.
All right.
So at the time we did the original episode, I kind of fibbed and said I'd watched all of it when I had not. Yeah. I had watched only about like
liar
a quarter of it at that point.
Liar.
I also, I'm not gonna lie, that original list I was struggling to fill out. So
yes, I've made you watch so many more shows. So
no, but we finally sat down and watched Yu Yu Hakusho for an anime swap to pair it ironically with Black Clover, and that show is so good. Like it's held up pretty well. I admit that the ending kind of falls a little bit off a cliff, which is weird because the ending also has some really awesome moments, but it's also very pointless. And the Dark Tournament arc kind of drags a bit. The great fights, but the in between bullshit's a little annoying. Yeah. But overall, the series is so fun, and you can clearly. It's one of the reasons why I want to watch Hunter x Hunter now. Is just because I can see I see his style, and I really want to just see more of it.
Yeah.
Also, that gif of Yusuke just beating the shit out of Keiko for no reason, like just lives in my head rent free, and every time I think of it, it just pops into my head, and I'm like, damn, what a scene.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, that was a big jump though, because it was just barely made it on my original list, and on this one, it's like I understand the hype.
Yep. All right. So my number 9, it was originally on. I think it was on both of my lists before. Original list, it was actually in spot number 4, and it's dropped down to number 9. But it's actually Black Clover. I love this series. I mean, I'm watching it right now. I clearly love this series, and I've watched it a bunch of times. But and I'm really hoping that we get another season. So I just want more. But the manga is so good. Like, I'm reading it and I'm just like, oh, I want more. So I'm really excited where this is going. But there's just been a couple other shows recently that like I found and or refound and just was like, damn, these are really good. I can't keep it as high. But I really like Black Clover and I want more. That's just all.
Understandable.
Yes.
All right, so my next entry, this one actually jumped up a spot, and it is, we kind of alluded to it earlier, but it is Azumanga.
Ah, I knew it.
See, this is one of
knew
those. This is one of those series for me that's like my comfort anime, where I just watch it when I need like some. I just need some cheap like entertainment, because this show is literally like
It's some background music, but not music.
it's literally a show about nothing. It's just a bunch of anime girls and the wacky shit they get up to, and it has some very key like what the fuck moments, like Alex's favorite character, the cat, voiced by Beerus.
I really enjoy his Japanese voice more.
Where
than
he
his
speaks
English
just
voice.
straight up English.
He speaks English, like the very bad English. Like, oh my god, it's so great. I love it.
Yeah, that and like we had some great.
I wish
like,
they didn't recast him, and I wish he just like they kept the Japanese.
I just love the fact that his voice actor is Jason Douglas, who later went on to be Beerus.
Another cat.
Yeah, I just, that show is funny for like just the out of context shit too. Like there's so many gifs of that show that are like you just look at and you go, "What the fuck is this?"
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Just like go to like I need something stupid to watch for like an hour, and it's only 26 episodes, so it goes by quick.
Nice.
Please slow down, you Miss Yukari. Please slow down.
Please slow down, Miss Yukari. The trauma.
Get it together, Alex. Get it together.
Get it together. I still quote this show. It's not on my list, but I do enjoy it.
I didn't expect it to be.
I do enjoy it, but
see, my favorite thing from this show is like the dub. How like the dub. This show was considered undubbable because it relied too much on.
The dubbing company said, "Fuck you, we're doing it."
Well, yeah, basically, like they claimed it was undubbable because it relied too much on Japanese humor. So the dubbing company said, "Fuck it, we'll make it work," and they basically did. I always love it too because the dub actors did a really great job. Even though it's oddly they gave the character Osaka, who is supposed to be from the Osaka region, and how
country accent.
yeah, they gave her that like Southern Belle accent, and it's like sure, whatever.
Why not?
Yeah. So what's your next entry on the list, Alex?
This one's number 8.
Yes. Yeah, number 8.
8. My number 8, Bill, I'll give you a hint. Arameshi!
Oh, is it Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah, it's on my list too.
Wow.
I freaking love this show. It was so good, and I just really enjoyed it, and I have a lot of fun memories from it because I just, especially for the fact that I truthfully thought that Kuwabara's name was Urameshi for a good 50% of the series.
I think you just started accepting that Botan's name was Bobo by the end of it.
No, you started accepting it. I announced that her name was Bobo, and it's still Bobo. I don't care what any of you think. It's fucking Bobo. It's not Botan. It's Bobo. Anyways, I really enjoyed this show. Especially my favorite character is Kuwabara, and I love how he goes, Urmeji!
I just love that it's a very young Chris Sabat, and the voice is so good.
It's so good. Yeah, I mean, the same points, like, it is a little sad, like, the ending, you can tell it's definitely rushed, but
you can tell very much that he did not want to do it.
But then you can also see how much love he put into Hunter x Hunter, and you can kind of understand it. It's like, okay, he really was, like, he wanted to pursue this story, so I get it.
I will give Yu Yu Hakusho's ending credit, though. As much as it's kind of abrupt and falls off a cliff, the actual ending itself is very well done and tied off.
I think so too.
Also, the manga is very much worth reading, I will say.
Hmm.
I do you remember like we went on that, like it was like comic day like at Newbury Comics, and I bought the entire manga like in
Yes.
one go because they had
Nice.
it on sale.
Why not?
Hey, it's so hard to find Yu Yu Hakusho the manga like these days that like I found the entire thing in one go. I was like, fuck it, I'm buying all of it. Wow,
All right.
that's funny. Like that wasn't even on your original list, right?
No, it wasn't. That one's a new entry, and I won't lie, my next one is also a new entry.
All right. Well, before we get to that, we'll get to my next entry, which is also a new entry, kind
Oh.
of.
Oh.
It was on the round table, but it wasn't on my
Ah.
original list. And that is that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Well,
Which is
I was actually, when I said slime, I was like, did Bill already talk about it and I already forgot, or had he not said it yet? But you hadn't said it yet.
yeah, it wasn't even on my original list because we had just watched it at that point and I was still processing it.
I was still processing the trauma. No.
It was number 5 on the round table though, so I'll give it that I did mention it. But yeah, I love this show. It's so pretty much everything Alex said. It's just charming and goofy.
Yeah.
And honestly, it actually kind of overtook like Shield Hero in terms of that like kind of
I
MMO-ish.
thought that's what you were gonna lead into when you were talking about, when you brought up that with Shield Hero. That's
Well,
what
I was
thought you were gonna say,
alluding.
but I wasn't sure.
I was alluding to it, but I knew it wasn't for a while on the list. Yeah, but yeah, Slime is great. Also, the manga is a thing, and I haven't started reading it yet, but I'm curious to do that at some point.
All right.
So, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is, like I said, a new entry. I actually only watched this one not super long ago, but like I freaking love this series, and I'm a little sad it's probably not going to get another season because the manga's over and it's been a while. But it was Magi. And this story kind of follows around a world where there's people, and like people can use magic, but there's also people who can like use these special tools with the help of like jinns. And it basically follows around the main character. His name's Aladdin. It uses a lot of like it kind of takes place in like an almost like Egyptian
Arabian
kind
Nights
of,
setting.
yeah, Arabian Nights, that's the word I was thinking. Arabian Nights theming, and it's just like, honestly, it's just really refreshing in the world of anime, where I feel like a lot of things end up kind of falling in that same category of like, it takes place in Japan, it takes place in a high school, it takes place, kind of those same themes. So it was really refreshing to be in a whole different world, and just a whole different atmosphere. But I just really love the main characters. They're so charming. Aladdin, Alibaba, and Morgiana are just like really sweet, and you just like really enjoy their friendship dynamic, and kind of how they, and it's really like a growth because they're all pretty young to begin with, and you kind of watch them start out kind of taking their first big steps to adventure and letting go and kind of growing up. So it's like coming of age too. It's definitely a really good story. I really enjoy it. Some of the fight scenes are actually really well done. And so is the magic in the universe. And I definitely recommend. I'm sad it most likely isn't going to get a third season at this point. But I'm definitely going to pick up the manga at some point because I really enjoyed this series. Obviously, I put it up on my list and it was not even on it before. So I really liked it.
That's the one you watched like super recently, right?
It's been a little bit now, but I really enjoyed this series. It was the one with the blue hair. Like he had blue hair and a long braid.
Yeah, yep.
Yes.
All
There's
right.
the big blue guy at one point with no head.
Nice.
You remember that?
No, not really.
No.
All right, so moving on now to my number 6 entry. This one dropped down one spot on my list from the original list, but my number 6 is Original Dragon Ball.
Oh, nice.
it's still the best Dragon Ball in my opinion, just in terms of overall story and like what it did as a show.
Mhm.
Uh, It is definitely also though an '80s anime, and it has aged quite a bit over the years.
Yes.
Like compared to what Dragon Ball is nowadays, you watch OG Dragon Ball and you're kind of like, huh. But if you take it for what it's worth and actually just give it a solid watch, it is such a fun little show to go through. Like it is so relaxing to see a show like in such a basic early form and just kind of like
Well, its
relax and
roots.
yeah, and you can just relax and go through it and like not have to worry about being bored or underwhelmed. I'd say
Hmm.
by it. It is a very enjoyable game of enjoyable show, and honestly, we're gonna do a Dragon Ball retrospective at some point. We just have to
Yeah.
sit down and actually do it.
Most definitely we will. It's on the list. Just getting to it is tough.
It's a lot of anime to watch. That's the thing,
Yes.
and it's a slower one too, which doesn't help.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So what's your number 6?
Surprisingly, well, coincidentally, mine is also from the Dragon Ball series, and it's Dragon Ball Super. I really like this show. It was originally number 10 on my original list, and I put it as number actually 3 on my roundtable list. But I'm putting it at number 6, which I feel good about. I just really love this series, and I want more of it. And me and Bill were talking, we were like, we want more Dragon Ball Super series. And
Mm.
I hope it comes out because it's just like the perfect mix of like the fighting and the comedy and the good times. So I want
Then
more.
then there's a ton of manga
And
in
Bulma ass.
yeah. I mean, there's a ton of manga that takes place in between the Brawly and superhero films, so it's like
Yeah.
there's stuff to adapt. It's just waiting
Yeah.
for when they'll do
Do
it.
it. We want more Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, we do. All right, now we're getting into the top 10 or the top 5, I should say. I will say some of this top 5 going forward for me is very familiar. Not all of it though.
Mine, I will say mine's pretty similar. Actually, never mind. I take it all back. There's like
Yeah.
a
All right. So moving on now, my number 5 choice. So this one actually jumped up a few spots from the original list because originally it was number 6. Never mind, it jumped up one spot. But on this list, it is actually Golden Time, and Golden Time is like my favorite slice of life because I just liked it. Well, not slice of life, more like a romantic slice of life, I should say, is my favorite of that genre. And it's mostly because it kind of takes a turn for a different route than like most romance animes, and that's mostly because rather than taking place in high school, this one takes place in college and revolves around college age adults. So you can get away with a lot more interesting shenanigans. There's a lot more serious topics that come along. Also, it has some weird psychological stuff that also happens in the background, but yeah, Golden Time is like one of my favorite romance animes, and I always highly recommend it. So, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is a new entry. I had actually watched it though quite a while back, but I fell into another deep dive of it recently, and I'm like gonna start reading the manga because I'm actually very I really want more of this series, but unfortunately it was animated by Mappa, and Mappa is Mappa mobbed. So the likelihood of them continuing this series is probably unlikely, which is very disappointing. But it's a Dorohedoro. And it's definitely one of those series that like I would not have watched in my original anime days, but now it's something that like I'm really into. Since I haven't really talked about it, I'll just like kind of briefly do a little brief summary. So basically, the series kind of takes place in this post-apocalyptic future, with three distinct realms. There's the Hole, that's what it's called, and it's literally kind of where humans are, and it's very polluted. There's the Sorcerer's World, which is a vibrant and magic-filled world, and they're the cause of the pollution in the Hole. And then there's Hell, where the
Nice.
devils reside. And in this world, like your main kind of people you're gonna encounter are humans, sorcerers, and devils, or demons. Um, and you you kind of start out following the series with this guy named Kaiman, and he's distinctly recognizable because his head is a lizard head, and he's trying to figure out why his head is a lizard head, but also inside the lizard head is a little man, and he will bite people's heads, have them look into his mouth, and talk to the man in his mouth, and the man will either say, "You are the one," or "You are not the one," and most of the time it's "You are not the one." This series is a little wild, but it's real good. And it's basically you're kind of trying to figure out who Kaiman is, like what's going on, why is there a little man in his head? And he also has his friend Nikaido, who who's kind of taking care of him ever since he fell into this world. He also doesn't know who he is. Like he has no memory after like a sorcerer placed a spell on him, and that's what they're trying to figure out. But I definitely recommend. I really enjoyed this series, the characters, and I'm really looking forward to reading the manga more.
Hmm.
Um, but as you can see from my brief description, it's a pretty wild show. And it's not something, I'm sure it's not something you could imagine me watching when I was younger
No, not at
and
all.
really liking.
Yeah. um, yeah, unfortunately, Mappa's busy, and that one I think got the short end of the stick.
Unfortunately, yeah. I also think too they did do the more 3D animation, and I feel like that's very hit or miss for people. I personally don't think it looks bad. I think it's actually pretty good for 3D,
Yeah, they've
but
gone to a point
unfortunately,
with it
it's
now
not
where
everyone's cup of tea.
they've gone to a point with 3 CGI animation where it's actually looking pretty good now, but
Yeah,
it's still not for everybody.
yeah. And one of my other ones in my top 10 also includes CGI.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to number 4 for me. This one actually was a surprisingly a jump because I forgot how low it was on the original list.
Mhm.
Um, and number 4 for me was originally at number 8 on the original list, and that is Kaguya-sama.
Ah,
Yeah, I must have just watched it at the time we had done the
I
list.
think you were just getting super into it at that point. Like,
Yeah,
I
because
think
I think
you
we
were.
had just done the slime. We had just finished watching for the slime and Kaguya anime swap, and I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I had truly realized. I hadn't started reading the manga. That's why, and it
Yeah, I
hadn't.
think after this is when you did start reading the manga.
Yeah, and it picks up, and I really want that goddamn movie to get dubbed because it's one of the best arcs in the freaking series. But
Meh.
Aniflex is taking their fucking sweet ass time like always. So
Mhm.
you know. But yeah, Kaguya-sama is great. Like the best rom com probably ever made, at least in modern times. The narrator carries the show at times, and yeah, it's great. One of the great dub, great everything. Watch it.
Nice. All right. Um, my number 4 was originally on my first list my number 2, and then it dropped down to number 5, and now it's back up to number 4, and it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Um, I recently watched Stone Ocean. Well, I was kind of rewatching up to part 3 to part 4, part 3 to the current part. Oh wait, no, part 3 to part 6.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and I finally caught up with part 6, and goddamn, I freaking loved part 6, and I love Jolene, um, Jolene, the Joestar of the series, and ugh, it was so good.
That's not the sound of good. That's the sound of ugh.
No, I didn't know it's a good. It was really good, and I just really like brought me back until like I kind of was in a rut with the series, and I'm definitely now back on board, and I gotta start reading the manga because there's so much good stuff out there, and I'm really excited for the next part because of how it left. It's kind of I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched, but I'm really excited for the next part. I also love the outro music. So with JoJo's, as you know, they always kind of choose they choose music from kind of the period it
Mm-hmm.
came out, like the period the series is supposed to be set in. And I love part 5, but but the music that they chose for the outro sometimes was just like, no, can we not do this for every outro? No, it was just no. Um, but I love the one for. I thought it was so fitting, and I like would constantly play the outro because it was just really good.
Hmm.
And it made me sad because that artist kind of released one album and then they just never really released anything again. So I hope she makes more music because she has a very talented voice. Anyways,
Nice.
that's off topic.
All right. So moving on now to the final three
Top
choices.
top.
Spoiler warning: don't expect much change coming up.
Why don't you just say them now? But no, just kidding.
No, because that'd ruin your point. But yeah. So my number 3 top anime is once again My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. Well,
Nice.
it's an interesting show, I will say. It's looks like a cheesy rom-com harem show, and then you realize it's about philosophy and like thinking and like, world building and like deep, complex characters. No, yeah, I do enjoy the show. Unfortunately, it's not the easiest show to find anymore, just because High Dive for some reason only has season 1 and 3, not 2.
Damn it, High Dive.
It's licensing. It's not High Dive's fault. Although
damn it, licensing.
You can thankfully find the Blu-rays for fairly cheap, so that is the way. Other than that, though, great series. I very much enjoy. Recommend it to anyone who's into like a more like slice of life that makes you think. So, what's your number 3, Alex?
My number 3, it was not on my original list. It was on my what's it called?
The Roundtable.
Roundtable list, but it's Welcome to Demon School Aruma.
Oh, it dropped down one.
It did drop down one. I love this series. It's my favorite like go and laugh series and just have a good time. I'm really looking forward to the next season. I started collecting the manga. Actually, Bill has been helping me collect it because he keeps picking it up whenever he sees it. So thanks, Bill. But I'm really looking forward to more. The manga only just started releasing down here, so I'm excited to kind of go back and reread it. So
yeah,
but I
you
love
can
the
actually
show.
keep up with it.
It's just a fun show, silly, and I really I talked to him in the round table, but one of the funniest parts is like he's a human in a world of demons. And my favorite scene is whenever they sing the school song and it's like, we eat humans, yum 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 yum. And he's always like, he'll be like so happy go lucky, and then suddenly be like, oh yeah, they want to kill me.
Yeah.
So, but they don't know he's human. But great show. Can't wait for more.
Yep. All right. So moving on to number 2, once again the same as all of my lists. It's Fruit Baskets once again.
Baskets of fruit.
We actually
that was kicked off my list. It didn't make it.
I kind of assumed that. Considering you didn't bring it up. We actually recently talked about Fruit Baskets with Matt joined us to talk about Fruit Baskets recently.
Baskets of fruit. So
watch that if you want to hear a full-on retrospective. But yeah, I love this show. Great story, great characters. Depression. I'm ready. Woo! Depression.
I'm ready. Depression.
Nah, but it's still one of the best just stories in manga. Like from beginning to end, it's worth a watch every time.
Yes.
Wholesome depression.
Wholesome depression.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, so what's your number 2? Because now I'm legitimately curious.
My number 2, it's a series I only got into recently, but like I am hooked, and it's Trigun.
Trigun. Oh yeah.
I am super into Trigun now, and I'm so excited. I know they're re-releasing the manga soon, so I can't wait to start collecting that. But I actually watched Trigun Stampede first, because I saw it on Crunchyroll and I was like, oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna watch it. And then I was like, oh, that was really good. I'm gonna watch more. So then I watched the original Trigun, and then I was like, oh, that was really good. I'm gonna watch Trigun the movie Badlands Rumble, and I watched that. And I'm pretty hooked, and I really, really, really enjoyed the series. I'm excited for season 2 of Stampede. I know 3D isn't everyone's cup of tea, and I know Trigun 2, Stampede, it wasn't everyone's. It wasn't. I feel like people didn't get it. The author was very much wanting to kind of reignite the series and do a different twist on it. And he was pretty heavily involved with it, but they did make a lot of changes, kind of modernizing it. But after watching the original series and then watching the new series, then watching the original, I can definitely see like I think both of them are great in their own unique way. But I really like this series. And I'm looking forward to getting even more into it. And it came out before I was born.
To be fair, a lot of these shows did.
Yes. Well, 1995. So you were born.
Yay.
And then to 1996 when I was born. And then yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting more into this. I can't wait to collect the manga. But Vash is just the main character is just such a lovable protagonist. You just really love him and love his character, and it's also like kind of like a country western. But
We
like
got two kinds of music here, country and western. Sorry.
it kind of is, but also like it takes place on this fictional planet. That's basically like it's humans aren't meant to live there, but we're living there, and they're using these beings called plants. And I don't want to spoil it because it's a big point in the show, but it's I don't want to spoil it because I think you should watch this series at some point because it's not that long and I think it's really worth it. So
Yeah,
I'm
I've
not
heard
gonna
it's a
spoil it. I won't spoil it anymore, but it's definitely really good, and I'm very glad I got into it.
nice. All right, and now for the most predictable part of these lists.
Dun dun dun. Wait, Bill, I'll say it for you. Inuyasha.
Yeah, my number one is still Inuyasha. I mean, it's really hard to usurp your favorite because, like, legitimately, like, even though that show has aged and there's things about it that I'm kind of like, this didn't age as great as I remember. I still love Inuyasha. It's a great
Yeah.
story. I love the characters. I'm reading the manga progressively right now, and my god, the manga is a completely something else. But god damn it, I love this show, and I'm looking forward to reading the Yashahime manga more because it's actually very different from the show version, and it actually makes more sense in a lot of ways. So there's that. And your hiccups are back.
Oh
All
no.
right, so give us your spiel why One Piece is number one.
Well, there's so many words that I could describe, but it's just a masterpiece. It is probably the greatest anime that's ever been created. And I don't care if anyone disagrees with me because you're fucking wrong. It's the best. You all sit on a bed of lies and you just haven't watched it yet because you go, "Oh, it's too long." Well, suck it up. It'll go by quick. It's worth it. You better start watching One Piece right now. You need to catch up. We're almost past Wano. We're getting to the end of it, and you gotta catch up before we're at the end of it because I'm sorry, it's gonna take you a while. And the next arc's great, and the manga is great, and everything is great. Gear 5, it's coming. It's literally, I think, like only like 8 or 7 episodes away. Start watching it. It's wonderful. It tackles so many like important elements of like slavery and like discrimination. There's even some cannibalism. I mentioned it the last time and I will not ever not mention it because it happens. It's wonderful. Luffy's great. The Straw Hats are great. Chopper's great. The side characters who become main characters like Law are great. Buggy the fucking clown, he's great, and he's terrifying in the live action. But
Oh yeah,
Jinbei,
the live action.
Jinbei,
That's a thing that nobody
Brooke.
asked for, but they're doing anyways.
Hey, Oda's heavily involved, so I got hope. Okay.
A lot
But
of people do.
Luffy, best protagonist. He is just great. He's awesome. And, I just can't wait to watch him become the Pirate King because obviously that's the story. It's going to happen. He's going to become King of the Pirates.
Nice.
He's going to become King of the Pirates, but it's the best. It's the greatest. I really held back
It's all
on the
about
round table, and
it's
I'm
all
not
about the
holding back now. You start fucking watching it right now. Get out your phone, get out your tablet, sit on your couch, turn on your TV, and start watching One Piece right now.
So it's all
Catch
about
up.
it's all about the friends you made along the way.
No, that's not what the One Piece is. Get the fuck out of my house if you're gonna say this slander.
All right. So this could be fun now that we've gone through the lists and the predictable number ones. What got kicked out of your list? Because mine are actually kind of funny.
I actually went and I crossed it all out.
All right. Do you want to go first or should I go first?
Well, I have it all actually labeled and everything. I went and I edited it. First things first, I just want to mention that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All moved down in my list. I had 14 ones moved down, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4 move up. One Piece did not move at all. I also dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shows that were on my original list. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just 7. Only 7 shows that were originally on my list, and they got out. So, yeah.
All right.
I made the deep cuts.
Okay. Well, I'll go first just because I only have like 3 that got removed. Yeah. So the 3 that did not that got dropped from my list were One Punch Man because, let's face it, it was only on the original list because I had no idea what else to put.
Yep.
Kill la Kill, which I like, but I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
And Digimon. Not because I dislike Digimon, just because, let's face it, there's better shows.
Yeah. Mine were Kami-sama Kiss, which is a show that I still enjoy. It's just not in my top 25. Inuyasha, kind of same things. Also, you'll tell most of these just aren't the style of show that you see on my current list.
Then you've just found more shows that have just pushed them back.
Yeah, and that too. Yuri on Ice, Agretsuko, Fruits Baskets, Oran High School Host Club, and Princess Tutu. All shows that I still really do enjoy. I just have moved on and found better stuff, and
your tastes have changed and refined.
Yes, they have refined. One Piece wine. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. It's really funny though, like thinking about this, like making a top 10 versus we were talking about this earlier, versus like a 25. Like a top 10, you're like more stressed about things that you want to include and things.
Yeah. And I almost wonder if like your top 10 is more truthful or if your top 25 is like.
Well, I don't know, because my top 10 from the round table is not truthful in the slightest.
Yeah. I also think I agree. I think it ends up being that because I think I move things because I was like, oh, I really do like this one. And it's like, you're more limited. So you kind of like almost do like stressful picks. I think the 25 definitely gives you more leeway room. But it's actually really interesting thinking back because we kind of brought up how many shows I've watched. And in all honesty, I think I have watched over like at least 200 animes. At least 200, but I think at max 300 different series. So it's kind of crazy to me that I actually was able to smush it down to a 25 list.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Like I was thinking about like when we originally did these lists, like I struggled to do 25, and now at this point, like there's tons of shows I've watched that I could have put on these lists, and I had to actually think and like figure out what I wanted to keep, which was definitely more interesting this time around than it was the first time around, because that first list was like, yeah, these ones at the bottom are here because I had no idea what to put.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely made me reconsider those certain shows, especially now that we've watched so many of them with the anime swaps.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this could be fun to revisit again. Maybe not in a year, but like in a couple of years down the line if we're still doing this by then.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think that would definitely be fun to do. I just thought it would be fun because like my opinions just changed so much,
Yeah.
and I feel like too we've both just watched so much more since then. So I thought it was a good time to do it. And I think we also kind of felt like our roundtable list. It was a really fun episode, but I think we both kind of were like not super happy with our list in the end.
Yeah.
So
No,
and
totally.
I bet they probably agreed to all of our guests on the show
Yeah.
too, because it's
We could
hard
probably
to just pick 10.
change. It changes on a daily. Let's face it.
Yeah, it really does. But I feel good about my current top 25, and I'd honestly say I'm pretty solid on all of those.
Yeah. I will say that as well. But
yeah.
Otherwise, I guess
Watch One Piece.
Yeah, yeah. Watch
Keep on
Inuyasha.
watching it. No,
and
just One Piece. That's all you got time for. Watch One Piece.
And with that,
Watch One Piece.
we have run out of time.
No.
And I would like to say once again, guys, thank you for joining us as we discuss the game. I just fucked up my outro. Shit. Once again, guys, thank you for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast can be found on all our major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. We're made on Spotify for podcasters, and you can follow us on all the social media, Linktree/The Barber Who Games, and join our Discord server. It's cursed. It's fun.
And Bill, you're officially evicted.
I got a few more days, but by the time this comes out, I will have moved out. And with that, I will see you all next time. She is the cream of the crop.
No! No!